Hello again, and welcome back to Should Have Turned Left. I'm Ben, PG Canadianized on the forums, or at The Canadianized on Twitter.
I'm Tom. I blame my roles on the forum.
I'm sorry, I still love your username.
It's a good one.
Yes, just especially because I count dice. So your username is a little extra special for me. Anyways, today we face off against each other, Circle versus Cephalyx. Today I brought one of the lists that I did drunk dojo with Painting With Menoth John for. This particular list is Kromac 2, and my war room is not loading, so this will be interesting. It's Kromac 2. His battle group is a Wild Argus, Brennos the Elderhorn, a Feral Warpwolf, Ghetorix, a unit of Bloodweavers, a Bloodweaver Night Witch, and a unit of Bloodtrackers with Nuala. And I also have Lanyssa, Ryssyl, and Alten Ashley being proxied by Victor Pendrick.
I am playing the Operating Theater Theme Force. I'm using Cognifex Cyphon. His battle group is 3 Wreckers and a Warden. I am bringing the near-mandatory max Cephalyx Agitators, which is 3. I am bringing 3 max units of Mindbenders and Drudges. I paid for a unit of Cephalyx Overlords, and then I got another unit for free due to the theme force.
Yeah, that theme force seems like it could be pretty good.
I haven't gotten the... This is only my 3rd game, something around that with Cephalyx and Mark III. And while it feels like the army hasn't changed that much, the changes to the theme force really make a difference. And I haven't quite gotten down the feeling of this new theme force yet.
Is there any particular reason you didn't bring benders in order to take advantage of the ambush part of your theme
You mean
force?
slavers, you mean?
Or slavers, yes, that's right.
Mostly just habit. And I'm still, like I said, I'm still learning this list. And this is practically my Mark II list that I took. And I just brought it for comfort for the most part.
Fair enough. There's still a decent amount of Mark II porting that you can do. By the way, can you please pass the growler?
Sure. Here you go.
So, first drink of choice. I'm just going to let you share it because you brought it.
It is the Eleanor Blonde from the Roosevelt Brewing Company in Portales, New Mexico. I am not a beer person to know like all the fine details of a beer, but...
What, are you saying I'm alcoholic?
No, I'm not. But the beer is good. I'll say that because that's about the extent of my beer critiquing.
Yes, it's good. He brought a blonde ale. It's got a decent body, and yeah, it is quite enjoyable. Okay, so anyways, if you want to know how I came up with my list, go listen to Painting With Menoth John, that I'm on there, and you'll hear that whole thing. It was with die rolls. I won the die roll. I decided to go first because that's almost a default for me. So what made you pick that side of the table?
Honestly, I was hoping that the big thing is that forest sitting there between the other forest and the hut. I figured that was a good place for Cyphon to kind of hide out behind and be able to block line of sight to things if needed. The other side had a trench, but honestly, most of the time when I play, I'd rather deny line of sight entirely than rely on defensive buffs. So... to me, it was just like, you know what, I'll take this side and give Cognifex a center place on the table where he can still have everything in his control zone, but not be overly threatened by things.
Oh, that's decent. Yeah, for me, I looked at the trench, saw how far back it was, and went, well, this isn't going to matter. So I just didn't even bother with it.
If I was playing Exelon instead of Cognifex, because Exelon can still arc through all of his monstrosities that he have, then I'd probably have taken that side, because then I can just stay way the heck back and still be able to get spells where I need them to be.
Yeah, Thexus is still a Focus 8, right?
Yep, Focus 8. And, you honestly do feel it. With only 2 casters for Cephalyx, you really feel the drop in focus when you go from Exelon to Cognifex, especially because Exelon gives all of his monstrosities free charges if there's an enemy within 10.
So, good lord.
So Exelon,
that seems solid.
Yeah, with the changes to pain driven and everything like that monstrosities have, Exelon, the games I've had with him, he has never worried about focus.
Oh yeah, because he still has psychosurgery, right?
Yeah. So he works with it even better because all of my overlords will just run up, stab my monstrosities. Exelon goes and just psychosurgeries. Look, I got all the focus for free.
Yeah. Whereas with Cyphon, you can still heal monstrosities as if it was a war beast, so you can spend focus points to heal them.
But honestly, I never have because the one for one just isn't worth it to me.
Depends on the system. I would spend one to heal up a brain and then attack. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, because I still missed the focus allocation to it. So it makes...
No, you have to damage in order to get the focus.
Yeah, so it just...
that's... Okay, never mind.
So, like I said, if I could see limited situations where I need an arm, and I just fix that arm, and then risk, like, just anatomical precisioning it to fix it. But it's so much harder to heal with Cyphon than it is with Thexus.
Yeah, no kidding. You don't have any... What is it? Any abilities to pick the column on any of your stuff, do you?
I mean, no, I can't. Not in the theme force anyway, because I would have to... Well, I guess, okay. I suppose if I really wanted to, I could take a Dominator and try taking the Whistle Bomb and...
Lanyssa and Adrea?
Yeah, Lanyssa and Adrea, and get it to pick it that way, but that's a really... It's not worth it for the benefit.
Jank. Yeah. And what, you're allowed 2 Dominators?
I think they changed it to 3, maybe.
Is it 3 now?
Let me double check real quick.
Hey, War Room, we both have it. Oh, wait, how do you check theme forces in Wurm? Do you have to actually build the army?
No, you can just... Well, yeah, you have to pick it, but solo... Okay. No, Dominators are restricted to 2.
Okay.
Which is still better... That is a huge benefit to the new theme forces, because the old theme forces...
Well, Thexus's theme force allowed 2, but that was the only way for you to get 2 previously.
But then Cognifex's didn't allow them at all.
Really?
If I'm remembering correctly, the old Mark II one didn't allow for any Dominators in Cognifex's force, so they just averaged it out by saying both of them can take 2 now.
Yeah. And that's a bit harsh.
Mm-hmm. But don't get me wrong, they are still really good. Like, I did not pick my Thexus list because, well, I didn't pick my Thexus list here because I was worried that without the feat, I wouldn't be able to kill the beasts kill your beasts with the stuff on them.
Yeah.
Especially under your feat turn.
Jeez.
So, but in my Thexus list, I run a Dominator with Alexia and the Risen, and then I have a...
Oh, good lord, that's an even bigger swarm.
Yeah, it's 40 total Drudges, and then with Alexia in behind to just be like, everyone you kill, I'm just bringing right back.
Yeah, screw that. So, yeah, of my Drunk Dojo, I picked 2 lists, and I wasn't going to drop Una 2 against you, so... I did Kromac 2, Kaya 1 pairing, and of the 2, with Bloodweavers, with the Night Witch and Killing Spree, and Bloodtrackers, I figured I had better chances at infantry clearing with this list.
And I'll be honest, because some of you are probably already wondering, I don't play against Circle very often, and I was very unsure of what his list could do, and I made the really, really poor choice, as you'll see, of playing conservatively and holding my units back, which allowed... Ben to get really ahead on scenario, spoilers.
Yeah,
but
well, I mean, we can see the front line of your forces at this point, and everybody just advanced. I mean, you used 1 unit to take out a blood tracker, or was it 2?
No, I only got the 1 because it was 1 for 1. Up there, you can start seeing the piles of guys I've killed versus the guys you've killed.
Yes. Oh, I hope we can see the Brennos pile. There's a Brennos pile. I asked him to make that one separate.
Spoilers, it has 2 models.
Yes, but which 2 models?
But yeah, so during this first turn, I had all of his cards and was reading them, but honestly, like, you can read cards to an extent, but it's often really hard to gauge an army until you actually go up against it and
definitely.
you get beaten by it. And I just played too conservatively here. What I should have done is ran the first line of Drudges as far forward as I could, and then maybe had a second line just hang back to be able to keep some channelers for my Bender dudes.
Yeah, I mean, the unit that you had Blur on, I mean, that would have been good for them to be as far forward as possible.
Which is that center unit there. I ended my first turn with Blur on the middle unit, a nearby monstrosity got Perseverance, and Onslaught went up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For my prey target, I choose Cyphon himself because it doesn't matter what I pick in this list, my prey's gonna suck. I pick a monstrosity. Hey, look, that's the one that hangs on the furthest back of the table. I pick a unit. Prey's never going to move off of that unit because one dude's going to be super far back. Let's just go straight to the Warcaster because I want it there eventually anyways. And then he has sack pawn, so even that doesn't matter. But yeah, looking at your forces lined up at this point, I'm already thinking in my head, okay, what can I do for scenario? Because that is going to be my main mode of victory.
And I am not used to Drudges being this slow because, once again, in the Mark II theme force for Cognifex, Drudges and Monstrosities pretty much got advanced deploy / advanced move / they were already up another full 5 inches. So, so starting on the 15 line is a huge difference towards starting on the 10 line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially when you don't have AD and there's nothing blocking your Drudges from the advanced move.
You know, in hindsight, I probably should have gone, well, in my list pairing, like, this was such a hard choice to make, but...
Yeah, because... that's kind of what Kromac counts as.
But Thexus has the ambushing Mindslavers, and on this scenario with the 2 flags so close to the edges of the board, having 2 ambushes.
Oh, wait, I thought only one unit got ambushed on the theme
I
first.
believe I can pick any number. I'll double check. You might be more correct than me. No, you're right. 1 Cephalyx Mindslaver. But still, like, I could
so you just... that flag's weak. Dominate.
Yeah. Control, yeah.
Control. Control that flag beyond all hope of me getting it back. Yeah, I mean, I'm still a little surprised that you didn't go ahead and pick Thexus. But then again, with list pairing, hearing you were Cephalyx, I just immediately went, yep.
Yeah,
Kromac has a better chance at infantry killing. Go there.
When I offered to come down, I specifically chose to bring my Cephalyx because I was told that you didn't have any players of the art faction down here, and it's my fully painted army. So I figured if I was gonna come and be a guest star, I would bring my good army as opposed to just the ones that are in progress.
Yeah, I guess that's worth mentioning too. You are not from Albuquerque.
Nope, I'm from Clovis, which is a good 3 hours towards Texas from here, out in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
Well, to be more precise, I'm stationed out at the military base out there. I'm from Maine originally, so
wow.
So I am way far away from home.
What's a bigger switch, Maine to here or Canada to here?
Lots of trees either way.
Yeah, lots of trees, sub-zero temperatures versus a shite load of rain. I think that's about equal.
Yeah.
So 2 non-natives to Albuquerque playing against each other.
We should have turned left.
Yeah. But
I like your list a lot, though. Like, it really is a list that when I was against it on the table, there was no point at which I was like, okay, if I just go for here, I'm going to win, which is a problem with, I think, certain lists where...
Yeah.
Okay, so you have 3 heavies, right? You have Brennos, you have Ghetorix, and you have...
I have 3 heavies, I have 3 solos, 1 small unit, 1 large unit.
And normally when an army's that small, it's pretty easy to just be like, okay, if I kill, for example, this one model, I can, like, your list is done. Like, I can handle the rest of the thing that you did.
Oh, yeah.
But with all of those combined, there was no point where I felt like, if I just go for here and kill this one unit or this one model, I can handle the rest of the force after that point.
Yeah, and I mean, realizing Brennos was base P plus S16, it's like, even that dude can get work done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were...
Oh, here it comes, I think. No, okay, you're just measuring it out still.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm pre-measuring. What can Brennos potentially kill? Because he's got a really good spell, AoE 4, POW 14.
What's Brennos' bond with Morvana?
If he gets damaged or he damages something else, Morvana heals 1 point.
Okay, so it's more healing for Morvana.
For Morvana 2.
On a caster who already heals like 15 boxes a turn.
Yeah. I haven't even looked at Morvana too much in Mark 3. Yeah, she still has Carnivore. Yeah, she still heals a lot. Then again, her rerolls shrank dramatically from control area to command.
Yeah.
So, she's still one of my best painted models. I need to play her.
So now you can see up at the top, there's 2 distinct lines. The far line with 4 are models that Ben has killed.
Yes.
The close line with 2 right now are models that I have killed of my own army.
Yes, and these piles do get somewhat amusing.
I think that's something I will admit I am a fun gamer. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I have brought competitive lists to events, but I would much rather have fun playing even at a tournament than outright winning the tournament. And Cephalyx to me is a blast because you just end up killing so much of your own stuff that you have to stand back and laugh at it. Otherwise, you're like, why am I playing this?
I know, right? It's one of those. I love the play style of Cephalyx. I'm not too big into the looks, and I'm not sure I would want to play the rest of Mercs, but I made the comment, you should see me play Wormwood, because he taught me that my entire army is expendable. And just that type of thing I think is so much fun and so weird when your opponent's looking confused going, wait, why are you attacking and killing your own stuff? I don't get it. That's one of those, I did that with the Gorax all the time in Mark II. My opponent's looking at me weird going, why are you attacking your Gorax?
I didn't get the chance to use it, but Cyphon does still have the so Benders obviously have the spray they can channel, they can have the explosion they can do, or they can adrenal flood to boost mat strength and move 4 inches.
Yeah,
Cyphon
also that move thing.
Cyphon also has empathetic overload, which is you just target a model in your control area, or it's a spell.
Ooh, Brennos is going.
Oh yeah, Brennos!
Go Brennos spell.
But yeah, empathetic overload automatically hits your own models and blows up for a POW 12 over everything. And I didn't get the chance to do that, but
yeah, overall you seem.
And there it is, the Brennos kill.
Yes, we have a Brennos kill, and there's the Brennos pile, separated by glue. Oh man. But yeah, it's like the POW 12s, they will kill all of my infantry, but none of my beasts. And even then, you always seem to have other things to do with all of Siphon's focus.
Yeah. And you know what is the really rough thing about Benders? And this is what, like, this turn, it just felt really obvious. I understand why they don't, but I wish Benders could pick different spells to arc multiple times, like as opposed to
good lord,
as opposed to having to be like, I'm going to blow up 3 times and I can't spray instead. And
here's the immediate problem with that: you adrenal flood, move your arc node 4 inches, and then shoot through that.
Yeah,
and that is the immediate interaction that goes.
But as a warning for if anyone is considering getting into Cephalyx, that That's one of the biggest things that often I feel like I run into a wall to, where I want my bender to be able to spray, explode, and adrenal flood on the same turn, and it's very hard to pick which you're going to do off a lot of times.
Yeah. Basically decision paralysis. Because I mean, you've got so many good options to do. It's which one.
And your unit here made it even harder because defense for the benders, for a unit that is all about casting and arcing the spells, magic ability 6 hurts.
Versus a primarily defense 14 army.
I need hard 8s to hit, and it's...
Holy crap, I just realized something. Brennos is the only thing in my list that's under defense 14.
That's what he gets for being old.
That is accidental and kind of amazing. Wow. But yeah, magic ability 6 hurts against a higher defense army for sure.
And you can't even work around it because Drudges can kind of get better with the overseers, veteran leaders that they have around them. There's no way to, you can't even stand still and aim to boost magic ability 6.
Yeah. However, you can spray outside of, or you can still magic whether you're in melee or not.
Yeah,
that's a weird trade-off, but yeah, not having any ability to increase your magic value. I mean, even 7s to hit, that's what a 56 or 58% chance. I mean, you're still going to miss about a little less than half the models you target.
All right, so here you see the start of my playstyle with Cephalyx, which is my own guys are in the blasts. Whatever. Because I am seeing. You see here that I have a line of Drudges lined up to try to take care of these Bloodtrackers, and I'm realizing after I move everybody, shoot, I have blocked off the one charge that I really wanted to do this turn, which was getting a wrecker onto Ghetorix, who's hiding behind that middle blue flag right there.
Yep.
And so I start blowing people up and removing them from the board to get them out of the area. And I realize that Drudge right there that's just being pointed to, he toughs after being hit with the explosion. So I'm like, fine, he's going to be the next guy who gets channeled through.
Yeah,
and I'm just
conveniently your third one.
And he is just going to get taken off the board to get him out of the way. And this will be a recurring theme where I'm just like, fine, I'll kill my own guy.
Yeah. They will do something and I die.
Like you'll notice now, I'm now up to 7 Drudges killed.
Yep, and I'm at 5. And there goes the whatever that thing's called.
So my plan for this turn is I want to pop feet here because I checked it out, and with an 11-inch charge during feet turn and 2-inch reach, I can get a wrecker onto Ghetorix, the Stalker, and that Blood Witch that's right there.
Feral. I don't have a Stalker in this.
Sorry, Feral. And then my second wrecker, the one who's closest to the camera here, I didn't measure, and this was my bad, but I eyeballed it and I was like, oh, he can get onto the Feral as well and finish killing it off, and then I'll have 2 heavies left and he'll only have 1. And then technically Kromac 2's a heavy, but
yeah.
it still puts me in a good peace trade where 2 of his really combat heavies are already dead.
Yeah,
and I have
under
backups.
Your feet, your headies become much sturdier with their 30 boxes because of the way your feet works.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, armor 20 is nothing to scoff at.
So here I'm.
But it's worth noting,
Sorry, go ahead.
you're feeding right now. I have not popped my feet yet, so I've still got my strength and armor bonus in the bag.
Mm-hmm. And I did manage to get Breath Stealer onto Kromac here because...
No, this was Ghetorix.
Onto Ghetorix here because defense 14, At least I'm down. And even under an Agitator, if I don't get Breath Stealer out, I'll still need hard 7s to hit, which is right at that range where it's really hard to guess how it's going to go one way or the other.
Yeah.
But luckily I do
have
get...
5 attacks, you expect to miss 2.
Yeah, and I've got an Agitator up there now, which will make it 5s to hit Ghetorix. But Oh, and I almost forgot to pop feet, which would have just ruined
Yes.
this everything.
It's like, no, we're even talking about it, going through some of the math and figuring stuff out.
I say, I end Cognifex's, I pop feet.
Yeah. Like, and he's done, and I'm going to go to what? So, no, it's all good. It works out. It's,
So here
I would have let you pop feed even if you were a couple activations in because we were talking about it. I expected you had already done it.
So can I just say, my overseers are pros at killing my own monstrosities.
I know. Dice -6, and...
I'll take 5.
Yeah. I don't think you got that high, but yeah, you got pretty close to that. 3s and 4s on occasion, but yeah. Oh, man. Yes, this is double speed. My phone is going.
No worries.
So yeah, right now, are we going to your...
Yeah,
this
no,
the monstrosity activation?
Yep, here comes the
Is this the-
monstrosity. So
I
here's
can't spoil it just yet.
so yeah. So actually, we should get to it because otherwise we'll just run right by it. So
Oh no, I'm watching. There's the Thresher first, and I'm just waiting for one of the attacks on Ghetorix.
all right.
Oh.
So we should mention the defensive position here, and if you can guess it before we get to it, then kudos to you.
Oh no, we can do this interaction. That is absolutely hilarious. So spiny growth apparently is one of the best things in the world for a Cephalyx monstrosity.
So the new rule is that anytime a monstrosity gets damaged, it gets a focus.
And spiny growth says every time the war beast is hit, just hit, the enemy model or enemy. I have to double check spiny growth. It may not work on. those
Oh
guys.
wow, that is a.
Oh my goodness.
We might have just royally screwed that up.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Ghetorix dies like a little bitch.
Yeah.
There you go. Spoiler done.
Ghetorix. Well, you just saw him get removed. Ghetorix got 2 shot.
Yeah. Like a little.
But the thing that we were thinking is that every time I hit you, I take D3 damage, and because I took damage, I get a focus. So
Yeah, exactly.
So in an ideal world, I get infinite attacks against a guy with.
No, it works. If a non-warrior model hits the spellcaster with a melee attack, so they did change the wording from Mark
So
2
there
to
you
Mark
go.
3. So
If you are playing
infinite
Cephalyx.
focus for that model has spiny growth. Cool, it's dead. It doesn't matter. It's dead. Either it's dead or the monstrosity dies somehow.
And either way, it's hilarious.
Yes. It's like, but yeah, it turns out when you only get 1 extra focus because you 2-shot the poor guy. It doesn't matter.
And honestly, I think that was my bad. I was trying to Thresher to get the Feral in on the damage as well. I should have just regular charged and taken advantage of just constant... taken advantage of my 2 initials, because my 2 initials would have immediately pulled me back up to 3 focus. And then I still would have had 2 to keep
your
making
first
it.
initial would have put you back up to 3 focus because
I'd take the damage.
you charge. I mean, you charge 1 anyways. No, I think Thresher's still the right choice because mathematically it doesn't matter.
So here's a big contention play that happens here, which is I am using Adrenal Flood to get a Drudge up onto Alten Ashley equivalent. And
Yes, we ended up calling somebody else to figure this out because, hey, formation when you can't stand on a wall template.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
So I'm trying to figure out here, can I be at the exact maximum range, still within my Bender's control command, and still be able to get that attack off onto Alten Ashley?
Yep. Thankfully, that wall is super easy to put back. That's why it got taken out of the way. And then...
A lot of game state budging here, but...
yeah. Everything's super easy to fix. The flag is easy to fix. And that's when we figured out, oh, no, yeah, we're good. We are
So,
good.
Alten
Put the
Ashley's
wall
gonna
back,
get-
remeasure the flag, make sure we're not standing on top of an incorporeal model, which he's good on. So yeah, Alten Ashley
Gets
is now in melee with the Drudge.
and is going to get punched in the face by a Mat 9 Pal 16.
Yep. That is definitely something that's going to happen.
But you also didn't need really Alten Ashley in this list. Like, yeah, the Grievous wounds are useful, but it's...
He would have been much more important with Thexus because he turns off your psychosurgery. But
yeah, well...
Yeah, in this one, it's like, cool, I have a shot that kills a Drudge, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yay! So, it was a solo for scenario purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you killed...
And here's where I check my measure to see whether or not I was actually going to reach that barrel.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it made me pop my feet too early. Because if I had gotten 2 heavies in on feet, that's one thing.
That's worth it. That is definitely worth it if you get 2 heavies on your feet. But yeah, since you're outside of the feral, it turns out you're only going to get 1 heavy.
Pre-measuring, it's only a thing if you remember to do it.
Yes. And that's the other thing we learned about Cyphon's, or I learned about Cyphon's feat, is that its monstrosities can benefit. So you pretty much have to pre-measure whenever you pop that feat. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult to tell, okay, which monstrosities you actually want to benefit or not, because if a few are going to hang back, if they don't need the armor, then there's no reason for them to take the damage.
I mean, one thing I did forget is they're still taking damage. So they're still getting a focus.
Oh my gosh,
their
they
feet,
do.
But I
the
forgot
end of their
about
activations.
Yeah.
That's
but
it
still lets them ramp up to keep it for the bank. So
yeah, wow, Cephalyx are so weird. You thought Convergence was weird to play. Welcome to Mercs. Oh my goodness. So yeah, since he couldn't get to the feral, looks like he's continuing to screen Cyphon.
Yeah, at this point I ask a very important question, which is, what's the threat range on the feral?
Which was a good question to ask because that dude can warp speed, and so his threat range is farther than you think.
So I do just some last minute adjustments to get Cognifex shielded by 2 heavies, which should be enough to help protect him.
Oh yeah. Even then, I'm pretty sure he was far enough away he wasn't going to be able, or I wasn't going to be able to get a beast on him. And he's on the right side of the forest that Brennos can't draw a line, and, well, hey, you have Sackbond, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, Sackbond doesn't affect spells.
Oh my gosh.
Brennos still can't get a line on him.
You should have heard our talk the very first turn of the game where I was like, wait, what's the threat range that because Cognifex is still preyed.
Yeah.
So Bren told me, yeah, if you're within 14 of the Bloodtrackers, you're in trouble. I was like, oh, great. Then we realized I can just sack pawn every single shot that he takes.
And since it doesn't matter what I pray, you can always sack pawn to a non-prey with whatever +2 and screw your control spell is.
Yeah.
Or +2 armor and screw your control. And yeah, my Bloodtrackers don't do any damage to anything anyways.
So now here comes the really bad part of the game, which is where my playing too conservatively hurts.
Yeah, so I'm already at 1 control point at the end of your turn because I've got the Argus on the far flag from us, and you weren't able to get any model within 4. So of course my thought at this point is continuing the okay, how can I win on scenario? And that pause of the clock and resume is beer break. But yeah, so I'm at 1 control point. I was half hoping to be at 2, but again, I forgot about the +4 movement from your adrenal flood, so that messed up. Or no, it wasn't that. It was I didn't expect you to actually get a monstrosity that far forward on the center flag because I had the feral base to base with that one.
I think that surprises a lot of people is under Cognifex's feat, monstrosities, which are normally speed 5, being able to charge 11 inches with 2-inch reach.
Yeah. Suddenly getting the +3 speed out of nowhere, that was definitely huge. So I'm at 1 point. I'm still looking at fairly good odds if I do it right in order to get 3 points this turn. At which point I legitimately do put you in an assassinate or die scenario. Haha, lols. Did not do that on purpose. So the biggest question I have is how do I score points on that center flag? Because I really want the feral forward to try to kill a monstrosity. I'm popping feet this turn to make everybody more survivable. But to at least get 1 more monstrosity back, then we go to 2 heavies versus 2 heavies, and my warlock's still a beast. Also, having the feral up there, forcing you to try to deal with it in scenario play. It's a bit of a quandary. Also, stupid tough and hooray grievous wounds.
Yep. I remember when like Mark III dropped and like all the changes to tough were revealed. Everybody was like, "Oh, tough is useless now." Like, no, it's not.
No,
like,
it's not. It still soaks up extra attacks when you manage to make the tough roll.
And a lot of times now, with a lot of armies having lower model counts, like it's sometimes hard to get the double tap onto something to kill it after it toughs and gets knocked down.
Yes, it is. The innate lack of volume of attacks when you have to add an extra beast or jack or two to your list. Because I mean, that is one of the things the larger battle groups has created is lower model count, and because you have to bring an extra jack, that is one less unit, and that's a lot of fewer attacks to make. Also, doesn't hurt when you can just spam, what is it, 30? Is it
this list
leader and 9 drudges?
Yeah, 9 drudges.
So 27 tough models?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then it gets even better in the Vexus list, where I have 9 Mindslaver drudges, 18 total Mindslaver drudges, 10 total Mindbender drudges, and then the Cephalyx Dominator gives all of the Risen for Alexia tough as well. So...
What? Oh, no. No. So Alexia sacks off all the damage, and they still get tough rolls for that crap, too.
Yep.
Oh, that is gross. Yeah, that being said, if you played that list, Brennos would be hunting for that Dominator, because it's a spell. You can't sack upon that, and it's an AoE. Keep him away. But, yeah, and this is me having fun with Bloodweaver charge ranges or charge lanes to figure out, okay, how can I keep everybody information and still take benefit of gang? Everybody's still in command of the Night Witch, so... Hooray killing spree, I get to change facing and not give my back arc to absolutely everybody. Oh yeah, but yeah, it was kill 2 drudges, and then I can, at that point, make sure I advance my solo, advance the Night Witch onto the flag and score that point. At some point, I do pre-measure Brennos and figure out speed 5 sucks. He's not close enough to walk to either flag.
While we're talking about controlling flags, can I give a public service announcement? Make sure you learn the rules for units and controlling flags, because
yes.
I know so many people that be like, oh, I'm going to get one guy in my unit base to base with the flag, and now I'm controlling and all the rest are off of it. You need to have 50% of the unit remaining.
Of the starting number of models.
The starting number of models remaining, and everyone has to be within 4 inches of that flag, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes, you are correct. So with that, I have a Bloodweaver, one of the models of the unit, base to base with the flag, but even you had made mention of I'm not controlling that flag, and I knew I didn't have a problem with that because I had the solo there, that yes, I have models outside of 4 inches, therefore that unit doesn't control. I would have to kill 1, maybe 2 models if I wanted to do that, and it's just not worth it. It's just worth taking the solo in there.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm just spreading the word around, because like
yes.
I said, I've met so many people who have played that in a steamroller and then gotten shut down because of it.
No, definitely, and is very much worth noting. And that is one of the unexpected benefits I got out of this list, was having the 3 solos and the scenario as it was. And yeah, the Argus, I don't think he did anything except go, I'm on a flag!
Which, is plenty.
Yeah, when he can score points like that, I mean, he got me 1 point. He's, okay, cool. We're good.
And when the majority of my list is defense 10, 11 anyway, it's not like he really needs to run up to something to make it hittable.
No. If anything, he would go up, bark, and just keep you from getting into scenario better, because you can no longer run or charge with the models that I bark at. So I've cleared off one flag. I'm currently controlling 2 flags, and I've still got to figure out how to keep you from being able to get on... Well, to really be able to contest too much to try to help me score 1 point next turn.
Oh, and if you're wondering why I pushed my guy there forward, I used hyper-aggressive.
Hyper-aggressive.
Why not?
Here goes a feral under Kromac's feet to try to kill a monstrosity under Siphon's feet. So...
Armor 22, because that's the one that's a warden, so he's got the buckler head going.
Yep.
And I live with 1, so now Brennos is going to try to be a hero.
Go for Brennos kill pile! Go for Brennos kill pile! Yes, that monstrosity is at 1 box. It's annoying. I want it dead.
So he moves up and he's going to do his AoE at a drudge that's hiding behind that wrecker right there.
Because I can hit a drudge. I don't like the odds of hitting defense 15 with magic 7 even if I boost.
So he kills the drudge, and Brennos gets 2 kills.
Yeah. Yay, Brennos kill pile! And fails to kill the monstrosity, which is sad. But hey, Brennos still did something.
It's just funny to imagine like this feral like tearing into a guy, and Brennos just waiting like, I'm gonna KS this. Like,
yes. Yeah. And for anybody who might want to comment, yes, Brennos has an AoE that stays in play. There isn't a single ranged attack on that side of the table. It's not worth putting out the AoE.
Anything I have that's ranged is a magic attack instead, so...
Yeah, it's a spell. It doesn't matter. He's also nowhere near close enough to take advantage of Arcane Suppressant on Cyphon.
Although I will lie, I was scared of that, because then you showed me I'm playing Kromac 2. I have it in my mind, Kromac has Bestial. So I'm like, Oh man, like my caster is all about casting spells. If Kromac gets close, it's like, congrats, you don't do anything else the rest of the game. So I was super glad to hear Kromac 2 does not have Bestial.
Yep, turns out that's just Kromac 1. And also turns out that is the biggest mode of spell denial in Mark III for Circle, because druids don't have that anymore, and it makes me sad still.
Don't you have one caster who hurts spellcasters?
No. Well, what do you mean, like take damage?
Yeah, like I thought you had one caster who has the whole, like, if you cast a spell in his control area, it takes damage.
Not in Circle.
Okay, I guess maybe I'm just misremembering. Don't listen to me.
Yeah. I mean, there's Morvana 1, which does the reverse. If any of her upkeeps have the potential to go out, she can just take D3 damage.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Like I said, there's only one Circle player in our area, and he doesn't play that often, so I'm really behind on knowing what Circle can and can't do, aside from Wormwood, and that's just because everybody talks about him.
I love Wormwood.
He's one of those casters that I think I need to play against, and I think everyone needs to play against at least once, just so they can actually have a firm idea of what he does.
I can make that happen.
Maybe next time. Oh, yeah. That actually would be a super fun matchup to do. One of my other armies, I was talking with Ben earlier, I also play Retribution, and I do I play Horse Mountain, which is the 2 units of Desters, Dester Thane, everything like that. Under Viros 2, who's like, oh, you put up a forest? Imperatus doesn't care. Imperatus is just going to charge through everything.
Let's be honest. This is why Circle has 2 lists pairing.
Yeah.
It's like, I see a hard counter to Wormwood, I play my other list.
Okay, so Bren is now sitting at 4 points, and here's where I go into the tank hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
I have one shot to win this game, and that is to get that. Do you see the proxy base right in the middle there? The wrecker that's right in front of Cognifex can reach that spot.
Yes.
But there is a angry feral that will take a pound 19 free strike. That will do a pound 19 free strike if I charge as is.
So with your feet gone, it's effectively a mat 9 pound 19 boosted.
So I have to figure out how to get this wrecker there safely. And the only way I can think to do this is to kill a bunch of my own guys.
Go for the jank tank!
I kill off a bunch of my own guys to get Cognifex into a place where he can gallows and pull the feral out of the way.
By the way, speaking of kill steal, you bastard.
Overseer's just sprayed into the back of my almost dead Warden and kill it off. But see, on top of this is where playing Cephalyx is kind of a whole, like, puzzle sometimes.
Welcome to Rube Goldberg.
Yeah, because I have to keep all my focus in order to be able to get Breath Stealer onto Kromac,
yep.
And still be able to gallows and pull
the feral
out of the way. So I can't give any focus to my Wrecker, but so I need to get models to my Wrecker to hurt it to get focus. But I also need to get things out of the way. So I have a lot of guys just moving around here to spray, to kill off lanes, and then have guys move up to kill the guys who cleared the lanes. So as you can see here, I blow up to kill off 2 of my Overseers.
And this is one of those where I can just go, called it. Like when I saw 6 to kill. All right, you're not going to kill one of them. Hey, look, one of them didn't die.
Yeah.
You can't see it on the camera, but he rolled a 3.
The other one rolled a 7 at least and killed off that one.
Yeah, exactly. 6 to kill, so. So that one is still in the way from where Cyphon needs to be to get a gallows that takes away the free strike. And yeah, that is definitely a big thing because, yeah, even with 1 inch, if you have Cyphon in the right spot, it completely takes that part of it away.
So here I'm trying to measure, because Ben was watching me play this for a while, like, why are you killing your own dudes off? And finally I explained, like, I'm trying to get this gallows here.
Yeah, when you said gallows, I saw one and was like, oh. Now, I like this.
So now my benders that have been on the far end have to move in towards the center to try to kill that last Overseer who's still stopping Cognifex from getting a good move for gallows positioning.
Yep. Even then, seeing that record come in, I'm going, man, am I glad Kromac killed that one monstrosity with 2 Fury to spell, because I did not want to go below 2 Fury.
Yeah, and it is close. Like we're kind of talking about the math as I do it, and it's hard math, but it's within the realm of
within the realm of possibility. The odds aren't great.
But at this point, with him sitting at 4 control points and owning all 3 flags, I don't have an option. Like,
exactly.
I could.
I've got rid of. Yeah, you're down 2 heavies. I still have Primal on the table. It's worth noting that my Feral has Retaliatory Strike on him, so even if you send a monstrosity into the Feral, he has the potential to do a decent amount of damage back.
But hey, you'd give me 1 more extra focus.
Yeah, 1 more extra focus for a dice plus 2 on 2 dice. That one's actually worth it. Spiny growth, no. Mm-hmm. No. But,
so luckily I managed to kill off that last Overseer. Cognifex moves up. I got Breath Stealer onto Kromac, and here's the really dicey is I need a 7 to hit the Feral with Gallows, and I do, thank God.
Yes. Yes, you do. And you dragged him more than 1 inch, which puts him base to base with the agitator there, which, hooray, pre-measuring. You can leave the proxies in place and make sure stuff still works.
Yep, so the agitator incites my army by telling everybody what a bad army circle is to play against.
You can swear, I don't care.
All right, so here we go. Here is...
The jank tank is almost... Oh, wait, no.
So I've got...
Almost done. We still got a bit more of this Rube Goldberg going.
Yep, I've got to get damage onto my monstrosity. So my other unit of Overseers move up and anatomical precision / spray to get the 3 focus onto him.
That's all spray because, hey, if it works, sweet. You don't have to use the agitator for it.
Although, you know what? I kind of wish... Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it at the end. I just realized the agitator actually did have a really good spray line down the line of the
Bloodweavers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that actually could have been something, but
Yeah, so that's one of those, if this was actual tournament play, you would want to do that because you could potentially get half the unit for tiebreak points for army destroyed and all that. But
So the wrecker goes in, and I'm rolling what? I need 5s to hit because of Breath Stealer and Agitator.
Yep, and you are dice minus 1 on damage because of your Agitator.
And the first damage roll, I roll something like 8 damage to Kromac.
Yep, boosted, you rolled 8. I decided to take it because I had a feeling you were going to roll higher, which your next attack
did 10, and it goes to Brennos.
Yep, go, goat.
I buy another attack, and I roll something like 6, maybe? Because I left you at 2, and you had a focus left.
You hit me for 8. Cromac's got 19 points, or 19 boxes.
Okay.
I think your charge hit me for 8, and then you hit me for 8 again, and we shook hands because there's mathematically no way he can kill Kromac at this point. He's got 1 attack, I've got 1 transfer. It doesn't matter.
And then I decide just to roll it against Brennos just for the fun of it.
Yeah, I just right away, I'm like, yeah, sure, it'll transfer to Brennos. Let's see what happens. Spirit got knocked out, but moral victories. So the Argus and the Blood Witch, they score me 6-0 on scenario. Overall, that was still a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, I was talking with Ben after the game, and there are just some games that win or lose, you just don't have fun playing. Even winning, you're like, wow, this was not fun, but this was fun to play. And I was saying it earlier, Cephalyx is just a blast to play when you're your kill pile of your own models is bigger than your opponent's kill pile of your own models.
Especially when you steal a kill from your opponent.
But yeah, if I were to replay that, first turn run. I have to.
Yes,
I have to be. It's
so
hard
with 1 unit. So you got 1 blood tracker off with Adrenal Flood and
it's just so
that's
hard
fine.
to.
Oh, you did have to use 2 units of that because you Adrenal Flood 1 of 1 unit, then you had to use that unit.
But it's so hard because at the same. For the exact reason you're killing your own things to cast your good spells, you don't want to lose your guys early. Because you need it's diminishing returns. After a while, or I think I'm using the wrong term, but after a while, you just lose so many of your own guys that you just stop being effective. So you have to keep enough of your guys at least on turn 1. So it makes running to engage hard sometimes.
Yeah, and part of it was I spread out my blood trackers because of the fact that they have quick work. If you don't tough, I get to potentially take down 2 models for almost nothing. And yeah, it's a hard loss to take, but that is one of those. Yeah, you got to run at least 1 unit. On a scenario like Incursion, where if you don't spread out and you don't contest, you aren't going to get the points that you need to score. That was a big thing. The line of engagement for our armies was well on your side of the table.
Yeah. But it was fun. In the end, It was a lot of fun.
Plenty of laughs, plenty of jank. Personally, I'm still happy for the Brennos kill pile.
You should put notches in his staff or something like that. Just have little.
I should go carve some in there right
now. Go
to
a steamroller and be like, look, this Brennos, he's killed 2 models. How many has yours killed?
Okay, so there is only one reason I actually have Brennos painted and based. And that was one of my local game stores. There was, what was the event? I can't remember. Oh, it was the last Hordes book release event.
Yeah, okay.
So the store offered me a challenge. If I paint and base Brennos and play him in every single list I play for the event, they would give me MSRP pricing for him. So I did. And Brennos got 2 assassinations. It made me so happy. One of them was, somebody else had already softened him up, and Brennos is the last thing to go. The other one was Kromac won, and Brennos actually got a legit assassination.
Can I actually see Brennos' card real quick?
Yeah, for sure. So he is defense 11, go away iOS update. later.
It is really insistent.
Wow, no kidding. So he's defense 11, armor 18, 28 boxes. So he's speed 5, so he's not very fast. 11, 18, that's pretty fragile. 28 boxes, not great. That's 1 point more than an old stalker. He has no defensive tech whatsoever to help keep him more survivable. I mean, he needs support of some kind in order to really get stuff done.
He is your backup beast. Like, literally, it looks like his job is to stand behind the front line. Like, maybe get close enough just to force an arcane suppression onto someone. And then...
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Arcane suppression, he has to get close. Basically, he's got a nasty spell. I mean, a 4-inch AoE that's POW 14 that denies guns is kind of awesome. Mm-hmm. Especially because...
what do you have that can make stationary? Or can, like, help prevent guys from moving?
Let's see. I've got crit knockdown on Baldur 1. There's crit stationary with the Winter Argus. There's throws, which are always fun.
I'm just wondering if there's a good way that you can, like, manipulate that for, like, Kara Sloan or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
have Kara Sloan, like, put that AoE on her or somehow. Like, you don't want to be that close, obviously, because range 10.
No.
But I feel like there's a use for Ravaging Wind that's really good.
Colossals and Gargantuans in general. Because if you can shoot a Colossal or Gargantuan with that, if they can't move 5 inches, they can't get off the AoE.
Yeah, and a lot of Colossals still are really dependent on their ranged attacks.
Yeah, exactly. If you can set up a model so if there's a forest or something that blocks line of sight, and you can set up a model to hit, or if your opponent is kind enough to cooperate and set up a model to hit okay, there's this line of sight blocking terrain, and then there's this other null zone of no guns, and you can use it for that. And again, AoE 4, POW 14, that's just not bad in and of itself, regardless of its other abilities.
Here's what you do. Pure
and
jank.
Magic 7.
Here's what you do. Pure jank. You take Kruger 2, or which Kruger is it that pushes everyone away?
2.
You take Kruger 2. You bring Brennos and the, like, strong, like, the Wrath, or somebody who can throw really far. You have Brennos use Arcane Suppression. He throws Brennos forward into the line. And then Kruger, like, feats and, like, pushes everybody back. And then it's hard for them to get to Brennos, and Brennos just... it's jank. Don't do it. I'm a bad
Brennos
player.
becomes knocked down, and considering speed debuffs no longer prevent charging...
it's terrible. Don't do it. Unless you want to kill somebody throwing Brennos at them. Would that count for a Brennos kill pile?
You know what? You could do that with Baldur 1. Because he's got solid ground, so you can throw Brennos 8 inches with a magic monkey, and which is farther than his walk, so he has to forfeit movement or action, so he forfeits movement, and he can shoot off his gun from there. However, that being said, he takes a dice -2 damage roll from the throw, but that is total jank and hilarious.
Yeah.
I can throw him 9 inches because I could put Stone Skin on the Wold Wrath now. +2 strength. Yes.
Welcome to Should Have Turned Left, where we talk about lists you should never play.
Now here's the thing: it has to be Baldur 1 with solid ground and the Stone Skin thing. Otherwise, oh no, Brennos can't trample and do that. Yes, it works. It's total jank, and it works. I fixed Brennos. Do it. We fixed Brennos. This is horrible.
You must kill this 17-point model
to avoid this 4-inch AoE of you can't shoot. Wait.
I feel like that would be a fun episode for you to do sometime. Like
oh my gosh.
Pair off the 2 worst lists you guys can come up with together.
That would be interesting, but I don't have the models to do that, because that would be the question of, okay, how many Wolves of Ouroboros can I fit into a list with Who would I use? Not Grail, because he actually buffs them.
Yeah. I'm building a terrible list, so I'll build the guy that buffs them.
Yeah.
Although I have a confession. My very first Crix game that I ever did, I got all my Crix in a trade, and it came with 17 bone jacks of chicken jacks of all the different kinds. My very first game was Mort Nebra with 17 chicken jacks.
Okay. Mort Nebra can still do really nasty things with that.
And
so
until
can
your
Tanagra 1.
Until your opponent brings a Colossal, and you're just like, oh, well, I guess I guess you're just never moving anywhere, and then the Colossal just sweeps, and it's like, oh, ooh, man, I got something in my eye. Sorry about that.
But yeah,
like I said, I'm a fun player. If there's a silly list to do, I will give it a shot.
Yeah. Oh, Mark III is still new enough. I mean, the new edition, it's still new enough. There is no settled meta. We're still figuring out what's good, what's not. I mean, playing I'm actually happy I played Brennos because I actually kind of want to put him in more lists to see what he can do with that spell.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone in sorry to keep asking you questions about Circle.
Oh, no problem.
Does anyone in Circle boost magic attacks?
Correction. Magic Monkey, his Animus is well in this model's command range. Friendly faction models gain boosted attack rolls.
More proof for the jank list.
The problem with that is the Magic Monkey's command range is going to be less than what you throw and can shoot for Brennos, so you're going to get that ability. But yeah, the Woldrath's Animus still remain the same. I guess you could totally super jank it, and oh my gosh, you can't super jank it. So this is the plan now. We have the Magic Monkey throw Brennos into solid ground, and then we have Baldur somehow manufacture a forest walk to make sure he can get the Woldrath's Animus into the spot for Brennos to shoot his magic gun.
Hey, if you pull off the assassination with that, like...
If that finishes off the assassination somehow, totally worth it. At the same time, why didn't you just shoot it with the Magic Monkey?
Because you went for style. God.
Oh man. I already have 3 more games of Circle already planned out. One of them being a Wormwood Grudge match.
I do want to see that list. Like, I want to see how that game goes. It should be a fun one.
It should be.
I do want to actually not call that out, but I do want to bring so obviously the WTC lists have been revealed, and I think that it is pretty telling that of the Circle, the Circle list, what was it, something like 45% or something,
45 or 48,
which that is ridiculous compared to all the other factions.
Not all. There was one other faction.
Convergence has their casters at ridiculous use.
Yeah, no, it was Trollbloods. They have an almost equal number of Madrak 2 percentage-wise as there is Wormwood in Circle.
Which, I don't know.
I agree. That's very telling.
Mm-hmm. Now, is it telling to the point of, he needs to be nerfed? Or is it telling to the point of just what I'm wondering is there a valid reason to say he is needed, as opposed to it being sorry, I was just having this conversation with someone. Where's the distinguishing factor between he is just that good versus I need him to even have a chance, against gun lines and stuff like that?
We don't know that yet. Flat out, we do not know that yet. While Madrak 2 and Wormwood are perceived as super powerful and extremely potent, we can even look at recent tournament results and see that those two are not the top. They are not winning everything yet. Mm-hmm. The WTC, I think, would be really telling in that we'll see what percentage of wins that those warlocks actually get. That will be more telling, and then as tournaments continue on down the road,
I think that this WTC will be the first, because obviously on the forums right now, I keep seeing the argument pop up of we don't have enough data on the meta and everything like that. I think this is the event that should be kind of the determining factor when we finally start saying, because what is it? Mark III's been out now since June, so about 3-4 months. I think that this is where we finally start saying this is the meta. This is what the teams of the world are seeing as the power plays.
Yeah, well, I mean, consider that 3 to 4 months in a game that a perfect game doesn't exist yet. There's general balance, sure, but of course there's going to be those that are easier to play than others, and sure, Madrak 2 and Wormwood are easier to play than others. They're much more idiot-proof. But we got to see the top play. We got to see how well these guys actually win. How many factions actually don't have counters to them, because there are very hard counters to both guys.
I had, like, for example, Vyros 2. If I bring Vyros 2 is just Vyros like forests, 2, I don't care.
Sevi 2, anybody that has awareness or a similar ability. Well, I mean, Vyros 1 for that matter still has Bird's Eye. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a Rusk 2 has the ability to ignore forests.
There's hard counters for these guys. Like, even Madrak 2, everybody's like, oh, he can just kill anything? There's counters for him. Like,
yeah. And I mean, even then, I don't think Wormwood stands up against the, hey, I have cheaper heavies now, I'm just going to break a bunch of those and just armor and box skew it. He still needs to have souls in order to really function at his top level, which means he's got to bring at least a unit or two in order to feed himself if his opponent does bring the armor/wound skew. So it's time is going to tell. The game is still young, and the WTC is going to be great because that is the largest amount of concentrated data we can get. That being said, the format is still really weird in that you can choose your good and bad matchups, so the data is still going to be flawed. But I think that'll really help, and it's still going to take another 6 months or so before we really figure out, because each game takes... I mean, at the levels we're looking at 2-hour games if you actually clock it. 3-4 hour games. Otherwise, there's 12 factions. There's only so much everybody can play per week, per month. I mean, there's still just a lot to learn. I mean, both you and I are still learning nuances of our list on the fly. So it'll be interesting. It'll be good to see. That being said, I will not be surprised if Wormwood's feet goes back to his control area, or goes back to his command area instead of his control.
Do you remember when they said the first round of actual errata are going to start dropping out? Or is it still one of those nebulous soon trademarks?
I think it's going to be closer to lock and load next year.
Okay.
I think the rumors I've heard, the game's still going to be out for around a full year before the big game balancing errata is going to come in. Which is... We'll still have like a minor wording and cleanup and maybe some small fixes errata between now and then. But I think the big errata is supposed to be once a year. That might actually be around January.
And I think that's going to be honestly a deciding factor for a lot of things. Like, how is the game going to... Because obviously PP has talked a couple times about this is our plans for these, on-the-fly erratas that we're going to do. I think it's going to be kind of telling whether it's just going to be powerful things brought down, low things brought up, or a mix of the two. Like, is for example, the Rhynodon going to get a buff somehow? Or is it just going to be, no, Rhynodon's going to stay where it is, but we're going to bring the power level of the high guys down instead.
And considering the transition from Mark II to Mark III, it felt a lot like nerf to balance. A lot of the top stuff got brought down. There were some things that were low end that got brought up. Why Wormwood got brought up so far, I still don't understand.
Although, admittedly, sorry, small interjection, I am so glad that they actually fixed that to be the tree is what matters, not the person. Like,
yes.
that always bothered me about.
Me too. It was so weird. It's like, yeah, Cassius is my warlock, but technically it's the tree.
Mm-hmm. The tree's in charge, but he's the one that can die and, well, he can't die, but he's the one that doesn't matter for things, quote unquote.
Exactly. And the flip side, now they can do a Wormwood tube getting a new meat puppet. Mm-hmm. So Cassius can die in the fluff and the world is okay.
Spoilers. It's going to be Kruger.
No, I think Kruger's a little too obstinate for that one. I'm not sure Wormwood wants somebody who's been waking up dragons to create
I guess maybe
havoc
not.
as his meat puppet.
Honestly,
because Cassius still shows that he has a mind of his own.
Mm-hmm.
So let's turn Kruger into his meat puppet with Kruger's mind, and oh, good lord.
Yeesh. I have all of the puppet strings attached to everyone.
Well, yeah, you're Cephalyx. All right. But we're a little over an hour, almost an hour and a quarter. I think we can call it good here.
Yeah.
Pleasure to have you on the channel.
Thanks. Hopefully I'll be able to come back again at some point.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun.
I still want to bring that Horse Mountain list just to have all the cavalry on the table.
Yeah, that would be a blast. And for that, a note to anybody else, if you can make it out to Albuquerque, we can figure out a game, get you on the channel. It's pretty simple, and it's just a lot of fun to have anyways.
I'm 3 hours away, and I made the trip. What's your problem?
Now I'm going to hear, it's an 8-hour drive. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you want to see next. I'm a little booked on Circle stuff right now, so give us ideas for other factions. On that, have a good time. We'll see you next time.
Does Grandpa Goat go get some?
Nope, Grandpa Goat doesn't get anybody. He's too slow.
Hobble, hobble. I'll get you someday, kids. Get off my lawn. Poor Grandpa Goat.